I don't know if Vanna is an Italian name,
I don't know.
but welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
But you were in Italy before here, right?
No, I was in the Netherlands before here.
Oh.
And then before that, I was in Lanzarote. I travel a lot for work, so I'm very lucky to do so. I'm very
Yeah.
grateful for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm everywhere, always. I'm chilling in Australia for a little bit, though. I'm going to slow down.
You're going to try to slow down.
I'm going to try to slow down, and then...
I'll just get you to move the microphone so that it's,
closer.
like down here so
Down,
that
okay.
it's, like that there. There you
Okay.
go. So we can see your face.
Yeah. No, but I think July I'll probably pop out to Thailand or Vietnam for a little bit.
Nice.
It's so close. I might as well.
It is so close. Have you been before?
No. So I get a lot of shoot trip opportunities in Thailand and Vietnam and Indonesia.
Why is that?
Just because of the type of work I do, it's common there.
Yeah.
But being so far from it, when I was living in Europe, I would always turn them down because they'll pay for you to go on the trip. They'll pay for you to, like, be at the hotel with everyone. But you need to pay for your own flight over. And that's more money than I would like to spend to work.
Would you, would you live in Asia?
No, I don't think so. I speak.
What have you got against Asia?
I love Asia. I think it's an amazing place to visit. I'm sure. I'm very excited to start frequenting it more often. It's gonna be easier now that I'm down here.
Yeah.
But I just lived in a country where the primary language was not my primary language, and I do speak Dutch.
Hofverdomme.
Yeah, godverdomme.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
You were so close.
I just got corrected.
But yeah, I do speak Dutch.
Rosa Pimmel? So
what is this?
that was something about a dog's dick, I think. I can't remember.
Oh my well, nobody's ever said it to me, so
No.
I'm not.
Yeah.
No, but I do speak Dutch, and it's even then, Dutch people have a very hard time discerning accents. And so if you are not a native Dutch speaker and you don't have a perfect accent, they will have no idea what you're saying.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm part Dutch.
You are?
Yeah.
Do you have family there at all?
Well, so my mum's dad left his first family in the Netherlands.
I hear that a lot, though.
And
That Dutch, dads specifically, leave and go to Australia.
He jumped on a boat and he went to Indochina.
Yeah.
And he was an architect. And so he designed the town that my mum was born in.
Oh.
So my mum's Indonesian, but Dutch Chinese.
Okay. Yeah, that's really cool.
Mm.
There's a lot of Dutch Indonesian people as well.
Yeah.
In the Netherlands,
Yeah.
specifically, which made the food scene this much better.
Only this much better?
The Dutch food scene is not
For
a country that
not happening?
started the spice trade. You would expect them to, I don't know, use some spices. But no.
What makes you think that?
No. You give them any sort of Thai curry and they're sweating.
Wow.
The mild one.
Maybe
Which I'm not one to talk.
Maybe it's because they're so stoned.
Honestly, less people smoke than I expected in the Netherlands. Way less. But yeah.
So, Vani, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I don't know. I like to think I'm pretty boring, but I constantly get told that I'm not.
Did you say worn?
You're
pretty worn.
Boring.
Oh, boring. No,
that's boring.
Why do you say boring?
I don't know. Because day to day, I mean, you're getting model Vanna. This is a completely different person than I am day to day. Day to day, I'm just kicking it at home with cat.
Yeah.
Maybe cleaning. I don't know.
Now, you just told me before you're actually American.
I am, yes.
But, so, where? How?
So was originally from California.
Right.
Yeah. Moved to Arizona around the time I was about 12. And then the second I could, I got out of there.
Wow. Why?
Yeah, well, just growing up, my family's very militaristic, domineering, very involved, to say the least.
Wow.
And so I think I just wanted, I'm very religious as well, so I wanted some freedom, like chance to explore, things like that.
So your family's very religious.
Yeah.
I have to ask, were they in a cult?
No, I wouldn't say cult. No, I mean now, saying this publicly, both my parents are Trump supporters. I'd argue that's a cult. Because he could do anything at this point and they would validate it. Anything.
Don't you mean worship it, not validate
They
it?
would not only validate it, but also worship it. I mean, with the Ukraine thing, my parents, I remember a couple years ago when it started, we were all sitting down around a computer to sit there and be like, how can we somehow sponsor a family, sponsor a woman and her children, like to come over here? We have an extra room. Like, what could we do? And now, after the whole Zelensky Oval Office thing, my parents have reportedly always been anti-Ukraine.
Right.
Yes. So the narrative is changing and the cult is just going with it. So I'd argue that's a cult.
I mean, I don't like to get into all the political side of things because I think there's a lot of stuff that no one really knows about. Like, we don't have all of the information.
Yeah.
Things
are nuanced for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, so when did you start like getting into modeling, and like what would you be doing if you weren't modeling? Like, would you be a vet nurse or a doctor or something? Or
I do have another career.
Oh shit!
I do keep it almost completely under wraps.
Can I guess? Can I guess?
You can, yeah. You'll never guess it.
You're an optometrist.
No. I did go to school, but it has absolutely nothing to do with what I went to school for.
I'll never guess it. You're a broker of some sort. No.
It's nothing corporate.
Oh.
The opposite of corporate, if anything.
Oh, you're a witch doctor.
No, but that would be so cool.
Would it? Oh shit! I better watch out.
No, I'm a tattoo artist.
Ah. Right.
Which, as someone not covered in tattoos, you wouldn't guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
When I moved for the first time
From Arizona.
From Arizona, yeah. I was living in a college town, and I just kind of had my iPad, and that's about it. I wasn't technically supposed to get a job because I was a college athlete. I was supposed to focus on my sport. And so on the side...
Of course, hang on. Of course, you're a college athlete.
I was, yeah.
What were you?
I played volleyball.
Of course you played volleyball.
I'm quite tall, yeah. In this country, I'm quite tall. Where I just came from, not so much. I'm below average.
Yeah, below.
Yeah.
They're quite tall in the Netherlands.
They're giants.
Yeah.
I felt accepted. I don't know. And then here, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Must be all the non-spice they're eating.
Maybe that's the key, to eat bland food and we would all grow an extra foot. If only. No, and then I come here and I'm like, oh my God, Munchkin Land. I'm tall again. I've grown.
So, so you gave up volleyball.
Well, I haven't given up volleyball. I have a team here that I'm hopefully going to start playing for soon.
Oh, in the last 2 weeks, you've secured a place.
I secured a team before I got here.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So
the girls got goals.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it.
Does that mean you're super organized?
I'm not. But I did have I had a job before I got here. I had shoots set up before I got here. A place to live.
I mean, we had organized this podcast and this shoot like months ago, so I'm not surprised.
Which I'm learning that Aussie photographers, the further you plan out, the more they like to cancel things.
Oh, really?
I've had 3 cancellations.
That's so
So
weird.
this will be my first shoot in Australia. It was not supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, hang on. What do you mean it wasn't supposed to
No,
be?
I've had shoots scheduled with other people and they just drop like flies.
Well, at least this is the first podcast.
Well,
You know,
at least you didn't cancel.
definitely would not cancel.
No. So maybe I am organized.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe.
I think so.
But like at the same time, I forgot to end my phone service before I left the Netherlands,
Oh,
which is now proving to be very challenging.
it's because you've only got one phone, right? You don't have two phones.
I
what
have
the
3
fuck is that
phones.
cat doing?
She got stuck, I think.
Oh my god. Anyway.
No, I have a couple phones, but none of them have Aussie service. So
Oh shit.
very not helpful. I get my Aussie one on Monday,
Which
which is great because I've been here for 2 weeks. Sans phone. It's freeing though. I've just been leaving it at home.
I suppose it would be freeing.
I just need my key card for
Oh
the
yeah.
public transport, and that's kind of it.
Yeah. You can
Don't really need-
you can get that at a 7-Eleven.
I have it,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I don't really need anything else, I guess.
So so are you still doing your tattoo stuff?
So I recently have like kind of stopped with tattooing.
And
I do love it.
and sorry, was it like what type of tattooing?
I did a lot of spine stuff. So I had
Oh, so like this type of stuff.
not
As in skin tattooing
Oh, yeah.
as opposed to
not cosmetic. No.
cosmetic,
Yeah.
right?
Nope. Lots of black work. I'm not a
Mm.
huge color girly,
Mm.
contrary to what I look like.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any black tattoos actually. Mine are all either brown or white.
Ah.
And I only tattoo black. So I refuse to tattoo anyone with any sort of color.
Right.
Red is pushing it, but I will. But lots of spine pieces, lots of like the
You've got a friend for life
I do.
right
I
there.
love this kitty. Oh my goodness.
The only thing he doesn't like is his tummy rubbed. He'll
That's any
scratch the
cat.
hell out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's any cat. No, but I had one girl come to me because she had scoliosis.
Yeah.
Her spine was very crooked,
Yeah.
and my spine is a little bit crooked. So when I got my spine done, I had him line it up perpendicular to the floor.
Mm.
And so my spine looks straight now because of my spine tattoo.
Mm.
So we did the same thing with her. She had a massive C curve to her spine. So her spine is about like 6 or 7 centimeters to the right of where her tattoo is.
Oh wow.
But the tattoo is perpendicular with the floor.
Mm.
And now her spine looks straighter.
Mm.
And then multiple people started coming to me after that who had scoliosis and wanted their tattoo lined up with the floor.
I mean, that's such a niche.
It's so niche and it's
Like-
not something I sought out.
Yeah.
It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like women tend to, especially for more sensitive areas or areas they're getting tattooed where they need to have their shirt off, they prefer a woman.
Mm.
So naturally, I would get a lot of spine tattoos in general.
Mm.
But spine tattoos on people with scoliosis was kind of just out of left field.
Mm.
I'm not complaining. It was lovely that it happened, though.
I guess probably what happened was you did one and
Mhm.
then they all spoke to each other.
Maybe.
And
I
then they're
also
like,
posted it
"Oh."
on Instagram, and I had a couple girls be like, I had seen that you.
Of course,
like,
you posted it on Instagram.
I did, yes.
And of course, that's how they found you.
Yeah. They were like,
Word
I
of
felt
mouth, baby.
comfortable to come to you because you had already worked on someone with, I felt that if I had gone somewhere else, I might have gotten judged for asking it to be not
Yeah.
actually on my spine,
Yeah.
Because if you were to tattoo it on the actual spine, it would just emphasize the curve. And also with scoliosis, a curve can change. So if you line it up with the spine, next year it might not be there.
Oh, so if the curve changes,
Mhm.
doesn't that mean the tattoo would change?
It can, but if you're laying it up with the skin and the floor, skin stretches. So as the spine moves, it's
yeah.
minimally moving rather than
Gotcha.
being millimeters off.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah. No, I got really, really lucky with that. And I am not a huge fan of tattooing men personally. So
Fuck.
no, I think I think, men deserve to have tattoos as well, but just not by me.
You just don't like.
No, they are a bit tougher to tattoo.
Tougher?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
So I've tattooed quite a few men in my career.
Right.
They're more likely to tap out. They're
Really?
more likely to take breaks.
Wow.
Most of my girls take naps. They bring books. They ask me if I need a break. If we take a break during a female session, usually it's because I've asked for one. To where
How
with
long?
guys,
What's the longest session that you've done with no break?
6 hours. That's my normal like half day tap out.
Wow.
Yeah. She got, because she wanted a sticker sleeve actually. So she ended up getting about 6 tattoos, very small ones. But she got bang for her buck. She paid for those 6 hours, and if she tapped out early, she still would have had to pay for the 6 hours because tap out session. But yeah, and then there's, on the contrary, when I was tattooing men, there's one finger tattoo I did that should have taken me 20 minutes. It took me 2 hours.
What?
He passed out once, and we took multiple breaks.
He passed out on a finger tattoo.
On a finger. And I have my finger done. I know what it feels like.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
That's so strange.
Yeah.
So what about skin type? Do you find that skin type also is a like contributing factor to
Absolutely.
how hard it is?
So women definitely moisturize more, which makes
fuck.
it way easier to tattoo. Moisturized skin is so much easier to tattoo.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dry skin is almost brittle. Yeah. So it also bleeds faster, which is very annoying for me.
I'm just trying to think. Did mine bleed fast? I don't really know. But my tattoo artist has always said to me that I've got like snake skin.
Oh, so it's dry.
Oh, does that what that means? It's dry?
Yeah.
No, because he was like, he goes,
like it's hard to tattoo.
no, well, he's like,
What did he mean?
he goes, because you're part Asian, he goes, I would have thought that it was like really soft and, like a knife cutting through butter.
Yeah, that's what it's like to tattoo someone that's really moisturized. Very soft.
So my skin's dry.
Your needle isn't having trouble going in or coming out, so it's like butter.
Fuck, so I need to hydrate more.
Everyone needs to hydrate more.
I mean, hopefully this year I get to finish my back tattoo with him, so I'll make sure it's hard to moisturize your back. I'll just have to drink heaps of water. But then you have to go.
Somebody else do my spine. I had to have them like take care of it. I couldn't reach any of it.
Yeah, well, so it's a dragon tattoo on my whole back.
Awesome.
I had to use a spatula to like put the cream on, and then somehow put the glider out.
I've seen people with like a back scratcher, and they put a tanning mitt over it, and then they put the ointment on the tanning mitt. And
I see no purpose in the tanning mitt. Just put it on the fucking spatula.
Yeah.
What?
It's a little sensitive though. The tanning mitt's soft.
Fucking harden up. You just got a tattoo. Like, you shouldn't be that sensitive. Jesus Christ.
You should also be nice to your tattoos though. They can scratch off in the first couple days.
Nah.
Once that scab forms, that scab can, if it gets picked early.
Oh yeah, no,
it turns white like this. Because I've done it.
Because you picked your scab.
I did pick my scab. Yeah.
You shouldn't actually scab then.
I dry heal all of my tattoos. Yeah. So that's my own fault.
That is your own fault.
It is my own fault. And then I picked my scab. So also I didn't do this one. So if it did anything it wasn't supposed to, it's not my fault.
Wow.
No, the guy that did this one, he's pretty hardcore. and this was maybe my third or fourth.
He just doesn't know how to care for the tattoos.
No, he's just. I think he believes that tattoos should be pain. He's just very traditional.
Is it stick and poke?
No, but
Well, that's traditional, isn't it?
It is traditional, but he's very like he builds his own machines. He doesn't use rotaries.
Oh shit!
Like he only uses coil machines. He got offended when I asked him to do it in brown ink instead of black, but that I wasn't budging on. But then, like healing wise, he's like, "Go home." That's it.
No cream, nothing.
No cream, nothing. He says, "Keep it dry."
Keep it dry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of how they did it back in the day,
It
didn't
is.
they? Because they didn't have
very,
any
very
fucking
traditional.
cream.
But for my spine, he was the only person I could find that could do it, that would do it, because it was my first tattoo. I wanted it to scar so that it would be a little bit tactile.
Right. And so like bumpy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it's white. So
and it's white.
He knew that was going to be a 3-hour spine session right off the bat. And then a month later, before it gets a chance to fully heal, touch-ups. So that's going to hurt. And it was my first tattoo. I had trouble convincing anyone to do it.
Why?
Because they didn't believe I could sit for it. And also it's large for your first tattoo. Nobody wants to do white because it falls out of the skin quickly. If you tan over it, a tattoo is 2 layers down in the dermis. So you still have melanin on top of a tattoo. Especially me. I have pretty green skin. So the chances of it turning...
It's pretty white, actually.
Well, yeah. When I tan green. I have olive undertones to my skin.
Yeah.
I don't tan pink or something like that.
Yeah.
So the chances of me tanning and the tattoo turning a yellowy green are kind of high because you still have melanin over the tattoo. So a lot of people, unless you are alabaster white, they won't tattoo white on you. So, but he did it with the promise of, okay, well, I'm moving out of the country. I'll never come back to you and give you shit if it turns a different color because I'll be gone.
Wow.
So
he was like, okay, I'll do the 3-hour session and take your money.
Yep, he did. And my 2 best friends at the time actually paid for that tattoo.
Wow.
So I didn't even pay for my first one.
Wow.
Hid it from my parents.
Wow. So your parents being religious.
Yes.
And
conservative.
Super double whammy.
Yeah.
I'm convinced they're in some sort of cult, not the Trump one, but like a religious one.
They're just Catholic. It's not super.
That's a cult, isn't it?
It depends on
Did you live on
what church you're going to.
Did you live on a farm?
No.
Have you got brothers and sisters?
I have an older brother, yeah.
Oh, so you're the youngest?
I am the youngest, but I am the most... my brother's the most recent. We adopted him when I was 10.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's older than me.
Gotcha.
But I came first.
Yeah.
Technically.
Okay.
Speaking.
That's an interesting dynamic then.
It is.
Like growing up.
We never really had the opportunity to like bicker and hate each other super young.
Yeah.
I was just 10 years old, really wanting more independence, wanting to hang out with my friends. And all of a sudden I had this older brother with a car and a driver's license.
Yeah.
So we got along perfectly.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Plus he got a younger sister with all of her hot friends.
He luckily, I would kill him if he did. He never hit on my friends.
That's good.
He would never. But yeah, he's one of my best friends. I still talk to him every day.
Every day?
Every day.
On the non-phone with the non-SIM card?
Yeah, on Wi-Fi with my WhatsApp. Yep.
So how did you get into modeling?
Yeah. Well, someone told me I couldn't when I was 17. And
isn't that always the way?
Well, I really hate being told that I can't do
Oh,
something.
it's a trigger?
Yeah.
it's a trigger for me as well.
Yeah.
Which annoys me because whenever I talk to my mates who
Mhm.
live in Perth, they're always like, you know how we get you to do something? And I'm like, how?
You just tell you
They're
can't
like,
do it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
Unfortunately.
I'm going to show you how I am going to do it, and I'm going to do it 10 times better than what you thought.
And then I'm going to stick my tongue out in your face.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
I would.
But
No, but yeah, I had a boyfriend in high school that we were watching the Miss USA pageant, and he was like, yeah, but you could never do that.
wow.
And I was like, what?
The dude has to shut up.
Mm-hmm. So I did the girl thing. I broke up with him a couple months later, dyed my hair red. That was the first time I went ginger, which is very much, I think I owe some of my success in modeling to my hair. 100%.
Yeah.
So dyed it red. My natural hair is almost black, so it was a big change.
Wow.
Very big change.
I would not have guessed that.
No. The freckles, that's what throws you off.
Yeah.
Yep.
But imagine you with black hair and the freckles.
It was okay. There's pictures on my Instagram somewhere of, because I
like
can
deep down.
Yeah, but it was, I don't know. It was just so dark, and I am the embodiment of sunshine, typically. So I prefer to look like sunshine.
I think it kind of goes how it looks right now.
It goes really well. It's a lot to maintain, but it goes really well. But yeah, he told me I couldn't, and
Asshole.
I know.
I mean, is he an asshole or do you thank him?
No, he's an asshole. Yeah, I thank him for nothing. But at that point, I went and got my first, I did just a TFP shoot with a random photographer.
Yeah.
She was absolutely wonderful. I don't remember why, but I was crying the night before. So my eyes were puffy.
Because you were nervous.
No, I unrelated, probably teenager hormone shit. Because I was 17.
Yeah.
And so the next morning I had puffy eyes, and she ended up shooting for super long so that my eyes would stop being puffy eventually toward the end.
Yeah.
And so that photo shoot opened up doors for me just off of that one. And I got casted for a pageant directly off that photo shoot. So I competed in Miss Arizona that year.
Oh, I just heard the American accent then.
Yeah, for a second. I competed
Arizona.
Arizona.
You should talk like that for the whole podcast.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Everyone would hate it so much.
Would they?
Sound like my dad.
Oh, snap. Shout out to Dad.
No, but yeah.
He's fucking, look at him. He's like,
He loves me.
I'm just going to get
It's
more
the nails.
pats.
It's all the nails.
It's the energy he can feel off you.
Yeah. That was my first pageant though.
Yeah. How did you place in your first pageant?
I didn't even make top 10. Not at all.
I mean, that's a good kick in the guts.
No.
That's a good kick in the guts to go, you know what, try harder.
Yeah. Miss anything though is a really big responsibility, and I was far too young. I wouldn't have been able to juggle that and playing college sports and the million other things that I was doing. It wouldn't have been possible at all. And then I also, a few weeks after that pageant, I got a ring girl gig. So I did that for a while. For
boxing? Or, yeah.
Yep. And that was lovely. I love doing it. I'd get paid for 7 hours to sit there on my phone half the time. The only thing I didn't like is I eventually kind of made friends with the guys, and then their girlfriends and their wives and their kids. And then you see them get knocked out in the ring, and it's not just like, ooh, a fight. Now it's like, ooh, I know his girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah. Or like, ooh, he has a 3-year-old.
Oh.
You know? Yeah.
I mean, they know what they're getting themselves into.
They do know what they're getting themselves into. And so do their girlfriends and wives and kids. Well, not the kids, obviously. But you still, it goes from more of a spectator sport, because I'm a big fan of contact sports, to oh wait, that's a person. Oops. Like, that's a person with a family. Hope he's okay, you know. And then off of that, I started getting attention from more like magazines, lingerie type stuff, swimwear, and I got reached out to by a pretty notable one, and I said no because I was married at the time. Yeah.
Hang on a minute.
I got married very young.
Hang.
Very, very young.
You said your parents weren't part of a cult. Why did you get married so young?
Because I wanted to move out of the house.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because you were in a cult.
No. It's I think cultural, religious wise.
I'm just being facetious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so, I mean, I cared about him as well. Like, I wanted to marry him. I didn't just marry him to move out.
Yeah.
We don't give him too much airtime.
How long were you married for?
3 years.
Do you have any kids that you
Nope.
don't know about?
Nope. Nope. Thank God.
Okay, so 3 years. So you got contacted by a
magazine that shall not be named.
A magazine.
I work with them now. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, they reached out and I lied. I didn't say it was because my husband.
Oh.
I said, oh, it's because I do pageants. And so technically you can't do both at the same time.
Why?
You can't do pageants and have your tits on the internet. Like, it's not allowed at all.
Okay.
Yeah. So
even now?
Even now. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So the Miss Universe organization just made it to where you can be you can have a child and you can be married. That's new.
What?
Yes. So previously you weren't even allowed to be married, you weren't allowed to have kids. There were separate pageants for married women.
Isn't that so weird?
It is, because, you know, I always think of pageants as a celebration of femininity. And to me, especially having kids and raising them well is one of the coolest, most feminine things you can do.
Yeah.
So you would think that would be like extra celebrated. Not only are you this gorgeous, accomplished, fit woman, but you've birthed 3 kids and you still look like that and you're still doing all this cool stuff. You know, I thought it would be extra things to celebrate.
I mean, did you know that every single human being started off in a woman?
Literally. So you would think it's something to celebrate.
Unless, of course, you're a test tube baby. But even then, you had to
Yeah. And I mean, even they're finding science now, or not finding, they're developing science now that 2 women can have a baby without a man.
Don't fucking
with
tell me
bone
that.
marrow.
Don't. With what? Bone marrow?
Bone marrow. And the result is always a daughter.
That's a different type of bone.
No, they turn bone marrow cells into semen cells. And then they fertilize the egg.
What?
And it's always a girl.
It's always a girl.
It's always a girl.
That's a special type of boning.
It is. It's an expensive type of boning, I'm sure. So, and then...
I'm getting better with the buttons.
Yeah, and then I moved to the Netherlands. I won Mrs. Netherlands, the married version of the pageant, because I had to do the married one.
I got it. Was your husband from the Netherlands?
Yes.
Oh,
he was.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's all coming to now.
Yeah. Well, I would have moved regardless. It was just that the Netherlands was an easy path because my husband was Dutch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like after getting divorced, I stayed in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So I loved it. It was gorgeous. But
you won Miss Netherlands.
Yeah, I did. I won Mrs. Netherlands Globe, and then I went on to compete in Mrs. European Nations instead of Mrs. Globe because they narrow it down a little bit more with the Globe organization.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then what's the next step after that? Miss Universe?
Globe.
Or Miss Globe?
Yeah.
Okay.
The married one.
Ah.
Yeah. So we drove from the Netherlands to Greece, which is a 3-day drive, but I got to hit a million countries on the way, so it was really nice.
Yeah.
I grew up in America. You don't really leave America very much, so traveling was really cool for me.
Yeah, because I mean, America's quite big.
It's
like,
huge.
You just don't have to.
You don't have to.
I mean, Australia's huge as well, but
Yeah.
we've got this like massive bit of desert in the middle that doesn't really do anything.
Yeah. But you guys don't have like a Colorado.
No.
You know, an Aspen that people can go to. If you want snow, you go to Aspen. If you want tropical, you go to Hawaii. Like, everything's in America. You don't really, that's why most Americans don't have a passport. 90%, I think, or something like that, don't have a passport. So I didn't get one until I was 18 because I wanted to go to Canada.
Yeah.
So
you did 3 days of traveling from
3 days of traveling.
the Netherlands to Greece.
Mhm.
What was your favorite country?
Croatia. Absolutely stunning. There are, I wouldn't quite call them mountains. They're closer to hills, which I'm not usually a mountain fan. I'm a beach person, typically. I like to be able to see if there's something trying to kill me. Whereas the mountains, it's like, is it a bird? Is it a stick? Is it an animal? Is it a cliff? Have fun, blind girl. Like, I prefer the beach. It's just jellyfish.
I mean, the ocean's pretty scary as well, though.
It is, but you can see. It's flat. There's no cliffs. Well, there are cliffs, but I don't go out far enough to find them.
So you're not a scuba diver?
I have my scuba license, yeah.
Okay.
But
open water?
Open water.
Yeah.
Yep. I've done tons of shark dives.
Yeah.
I am obsessed with sharks. So I love the ocean.
Right.
The forest, not so much. But yeah, Croatia was gorgeous. They have a beach as well. Croatia's beach is gorgeous. But I was closer to the center of Croatia. Lots of trees. Very gorgeous. The food scene was surprisingly amazing.
Yeah. I've heard that.
Which, okay, Croatia, we see you. But they just joined the Schengen zone. So they...
the what zone?
The zone... They're like a EU member state now.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Basically. So I should have expected them to be like more developed than the rest of Eastern Europe and the Balkans, but I didn't think of that. And then being there was a wonderful surprise. And then some of the other countries were a little bit dodgy. North Macedonia specifically.
Yeah, I mean...
Got detained at the border for not having some sort of insurance that is nowhere on their government website. And then they extorted 300 euros from me to get this insurance. And then tried to do the same thing on the way back.
Wow.
I mean, I made it, so...
Did you have to like hide in the boot of the car at all? Like, was it one of those jobs?
No, it was just, I didn't have phone service, so that was stressful. I had a dog with me, so they had questions about that. And then the car that I was in was a rental. And so we didn't have the paper registration. We had a photocopy that they send you with rentals.
Yeah.
They had a huge problem with that. We're not going to take a photocopy of the registration to steal a car.
Yeah.
So that was complicated and ridiculous and terrifying because we didn't have phone service. They wouldn't let us turn around and like go around North Macedonia, which is very hard to do to get into Greece.
Yeah.
But I think, correct me if I'm wrong politically, but I think North Macedonia and Greece don't have the greatest relations.
Yeah.
So their border control is just insane.
Yeah.
So, but once we actually got down into Greece, because I was going to stay the night in North Macedonia, didn't do it after that, after getting extorted. So we quickly booked an Airbnb in Olympiaki in Greece, which is up in the northeast, I believe. Directly on the beach. We could see the beach from the Airbnb. Cutest little innkeeper. Anytime I go back to Greece, I'll be staying there. So it was worth the adventure, for sure. And then I ended up placing 6th at Miss European Nations, which was amazing. It was a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
I still have friends from that competition that I talk to regularly.
Yeah.
And then at that point, right after that competition, I knew I was getting divorced. So
it was the road trip.
It was before the road trip.
Oh.
Yeah, I had already decided. The road trip was kind of in my head like, oh, let's give him one more chance. He doesn't know he has one more chance, but let's give it to him.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he was thinking the same thing.
I wasn't the one that deserved to be on their last chance.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's
and
a
then,
shame.
Yeah.
But anyway, it happens.
It happened. And also, a really big moment happened for me at that, like, competition. The woman who won, her husband, this adorable little bald man, came up to her with 2 bouquets of flowers when she won, which he had these bouquets the entire time. He had no idea she was going to win. And so
he was going to give it to her anyway.
He was going to give it to her anyway. Yeah. This man was obsessed with her, bawling his eyes out because she won.
Yeah.
And the entire weekend, I saw them together. This man was head over heels for this woman. Yeah. She was obviously very, very in love with him too, but he was her biggest fan.
Yeah.
And literally on the drive home, I told my ex-husband, I said, we're never going to have that. You're never going to feel that way for me. And I'm never going to feel that way for you. So it's because the things he had done hurt me so deeply that I hated him. So I couldn't get over that. And that wasn't fair to him to keep him in a relationship where I couldn't get over those things.
Yeah.
And it wasn't fair to me to be in a relationship where I was haunted by those things.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So that bald man unknowingly caused my divorce.
Well, I think you said that
I was already decided.
Yeah,
but
you were already decided, but
he was the catalyst for the conversation.
Yeah,
for sure.
And he was the evidence of
like I deserve that.
What you were.
I deserve my little bald man, my own tiny #1 fan. He was so cute, and he was shorter than her as well, which made it cuter.
Let me paraphrase. In a relationship, you should be with someone who is your #1 supporter, regardless of everything that you go through or what you do. They should always be your #1 supporter.
Yeah, and that's out there, and I refuse to settle for anything less.
Yeah,
because I don't have to, because I give that treatment to myself.
You don't settle for anything less with yourself?
With myself or others, no. I give myself bald man treatment, so anyone entering my life must do the same or better.
Bald man treatment. That's the new phrase.
I love him. He was great. Obviously, they don't know that, like, their relationship is my model.
After watching this, he's actually subscribed to the YouTube channel.
But yeah, that relationship is my model. They have like 6 kids. I don't want 6 kids.
Social media, do your thing. We need to find this bald man.
Tell him the way he loves his wife is amazing.
I mean, she won that.
She won it.
Competition. So it should be pretty easy to find him.
Oh yeah, people could, for sure.
Do you think social media?
Maybe. But yeah, they're wonderful. They're beautiful couple, beautiful family.
I think it's so they have 6 kids.
I think 6. It could be more, could be less, but they have a lot.
That's fucking mental.
And she is, I mean, I still follow her on social media. From what I see on socials, the most incredible mother. No wonder she won. Like,
yeah.
She had it in the bag, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, and once you can't compete in a married pageant if you're divorced. So I then announced my retirement.
I mean, there's a divorce pageant, isn't there?
Yeah, but I was done. You know, once you win a country,
I think that's called Tinder. The divorce pageant.
Maybe. Plenty of fish. But
definitely not.
No.
Plenty of fish.
That's where all the divorcees are, aren't they? I don't know. It's chic to be divorced in your 20s.
Wow. Anyway, so once you retired.
Yeah, I announced my retirement, and then I opened my DMs, and I have a DM from Playboy, and I'm like, wow, that's fake.
Boom.
That's fake as hell. And then I open it, and it's, their online platform and stuff like that, an application like invitation, and I kept clicking back and forth between their page and like the DM and the page and the DM, and I'm like, no, that's the Playboy. That's Playboy.
Yeah.
And so I had one photographer who I'd followed forever. And I was like, he shoots boudoir. I would never work with him, unfortunately, but I love his work. It's so cool. Like, these women are gorgeous. And I reached out to him. That was my first lingerie shoot. And it went so unbelievably well. And just first of all, I made decent money from it.
Nice.
With Playboy.
that is a nice introduction into
just a nice little, you're gonna, pose with your clothes off, but it's gonna be for Playboy and you're gonna make some money doing it.
bank.
So, it was a nice ease in. And then within that same week, I had another photo shoot. And then I started doing 2 a month from then.
Yeah.
So I had kind of gone on a hiatus from about 2020 to 2022. So I was out of practice a bit.
Kind of like COVID days.
Kind of COVID days. I didn't want to be showing up to anyone's house for a photo shoot during COVID, you know. And I gained some weight during COVID as well. And the divorce stress helped me drop that weight quickly.
Wow.
So I lost 15 kilos, posed for Playboy, and then it just spiraled into what it is today. Yeah. And I'm so grateful for it. I've been to the Canary Islands twice in the last 6 months for shoot trips. Like that's crazy, you know? I'm very, very grateful that things went the way they went.
Yeah. What if someone came to you and like wanted to get into doing it, like what would you tell them?
Honestly, it's a lot about the photographers that you work with. If you're not comfortable with the person you're shooting with, it's going to read on camera. I've left shoots before because I know the photos aren't going to be good because I'm not comfortable with who I'm shooting with.
Hang on. You've just like left the shoot like mid-shoot. You're like, I'm out of here.
I mean, I wrap it up at like a good point. Like I'm like, I don't have any more outfits like that I'm feeling today. Yeah. Or, I mean, I've had photographers and shoots in the middle of it as well. When I very, very first started, there was one photographer who I wasn't doing any sort of implied nudity, barely even swimwear yet. And he wanted me to take my swim top off and just have a t-shirt on. And I was like, not okay with that. And shoot ended 20 minutes later. I didn't end it. But that kind of put it in my head like, okay, if photographers can do that, I can too if I'm uncomfortable. But also, I do have a lot of girls who will text me, be like, hey, you've shot with this photographer before. Like, I know you don't really shoot with people you don't like. Is he decent? And I always tell people, if they are on my page anywhere, they're decent. I wouldn't post the photos with them if I didn't like them, if I didn't like their vibe. Yeah. And I would not be out here somewhat promoting them, especially to other networking relationships. Yeah. If I didn't like them.
Yeah. 100%.
So I've even after the fact taken photographers off of my page because of, looking back at a shoot and being like, should they have been giving me alcohol? Was that weird, And so, like, thinking back,
That's a no.
Yeah, no. Well, in the moment, I was like, yeah, no, it looks good for the picture. But, if he sees this, he's going to know it's him. But he went downstairs to get me whiskey and then came back upstairs with a whiskey from downstairs. We were shooting in a hotel, and then a glass with ice, and then pulled out whiskey that he already had in the fridge and poured himself a glass of whiskey in the one with the ice and handed me the one from downstairs. I didn't drink any of it. That was weird.
Yeah, that is a bit strange.
So either you're being weird or you're cheaping out on me and not giving me the good whiskey that's in the fridge. Either one, irritating.
I mean, bro, like...
Come on. I'm here for free. Give me the good stuff.
It's...
Yeah.
There's some...
Yeah, he's not on my page anymore, though. I took it down.
Some strange behavior going on there.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you in that, if people did their homework and looked at someone's profile and can see, the people that they work with or the variety of photos that are being taken, then at least that gives you some sort of idea.
Yep.
You know, as opposed to listening to gossip or hearsay
Yeah.
or, you know, because that type of stuff like happens
Yeah.
in this industry.
There definitely is gossip and hearsay. I think the Netherlands was very good with it. People are very honest in the Netherlands, extremely straightforward. It's something I love about the country and the people. And so there's the community between the models is very tight knit. And if a photographer is, say, because there is one photographer in the Netherlands that's very well known for rejecting girls for shoots if he just kind of thinks they're ugly.
Right.
Which, at that point, if we were all going around talking shit about that, that would be, it's his job to shoot gorgeous women. If he doesn't think you're gorgeous. Sorry. Mind you, he rejected me. So I'm not coming from like a place of like, well, he said yes to me. So no, like he rejected me, and fair, you know, he has a certain standard that he needs for his business. You know?
Okay. So,
but it's not like we're going around talking crap about that. It's more like, oh no, I set a boundary with this photographer and he kept pushing it, or I set a boundary and then this one gave me alcohol. Like it's weird stuff. It's not so much like he was mean to me. It's very much not that.
I think you could take up voice acting.
I'm just slipping into the California. I do it when I want to get out of trouble.
I think though, like it's very mature of you to recognize like the level of standard that this photographer obviously has to keep or try
it's his
to
business,
maintain.
You know?
Yeah.
And if you're running an art gallery, unless it's amazing, you're not going to put a toddler's work on your wall.
Yeah.
You know? So it's a business just like any other business. And for me, it was my body that didn't fit into his image, which that's okay. He has a Patreon, and that's his primary source of income. So people need to want to see what's on there. And he didn't believe his audience would want to see me. That's his business. If I wanted to pay him for a shoot and then he was like, no, you're ugly, then that would be rude.
Yeah.
But it was very much just like he was interested, he asked for a nude portfolio, and then he was no longer interested. So it's his business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know?
I also think though in Europe the whole nude photography, nude artistic stuff is much more well advanced because obviously
100%.
they've been doing it for such a long time.
That and like, so I've been having a little bit of trouble here tanning, actually.
Tanning?
Yes, in Europe, I'm only bringing bottoms to the beach.
Oh.
I'm not bringing a bikini top. I don't want tan lines.
Oh.
Here, people look at me like I'm a predator if I were to do that.
Oh, yeah, you are definitely a predator.
I tried to tan topless in my backyard, and my roommate was like, in my backyard?
Bro, fucking calm down.
She was like, I'll just untie your bikini when you flip to your back. All right, I guess. In my backyard.
Hey, we've got some conservative insects out there that may be offended.
I don't know.
And the
birds. Then a couple weeks ago, I'm on the beach in Lanzarote. One of the other models is completely naked running down the beach. So the comparison between Europe and here, I never would have thought I would come to Australia and be like, oh, they're a little more conservative. I would never think.
Yeah.
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 So I think it's harder to shoot here.
It's a younger nation here.
Yeah, America's the same.
Yeah.
If I took my top off on the beach in America, I'd get stared at, and then I'd get reported to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have nude beaches here, though.
Yeah.
But
but they don't take kindly to bringing a camera, typically.
No.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, they've been painting nude French girls for like centuries, right?
Yeah. I don't know. It's not even, I don't know, like changing on the beach isn't even a sexual thing to me anymore. Maybe it's the type of modeling that I do, but it's just, I feel more sexual with the clothes on. with the bikini on. And everyone's only looking at the 10% that's covered anyway.
That's exactly right.
It is.
Bro, like
How
fucking...
respectful.
How respectful.
How respectful.
We are just so respectful here. Yeah. You better get you. I don't know how you've been treated in the Netherlands, but we treat you with respect.
With respect.
Put those clothes back on. You're burning my eyes.
It's gonna be an adjustment for sure. I think shooting is gonna be an adjustment because I'm very used to like, oh, okay, this is cute. We've shot it with a bikini a little bit, some topless shots. Like, that's not really something you can do here. So
we're going to a nude beach.
Oh, I didn't know that. Might see a couple more wangs than I bargained for today.
Oh no,
I was not planning on seeing any wangs.
There's definitely not going to be any wangs there. No.
So there are no nude people on the nude beach. It's a bit cold today for Australian standards.
It's a little bit cold for Australian
Okay,
standards.
good. No wangs.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely no. Yeah, there's no. I don't think I've ever seen a wang there. Actually, maybe once.
Okay, then European nude beaches are very different.
Yeah.
All the wangs.
Yeah.
Most of the nude beaches I've stumbled upon accidentally are gay nude beaches.
How do you accidentally stumble upon a gay
fun
nude
story
beach?
time. Hold on. So there was there's a lake. More people go to lake beaches in the Netherlands, and there's little, not private beaches, but they're in trees, and there's a lot of them, and there's like 12 in a row, and I had a bike, so I was like, I'm going to go down to the furthest one, and I had a book and some drawing stuff. I was alone for the day, and I wanted to go.
Sounds very wholesome.
I wanted to go to the furthest one and maybe just sit. I thought I would be alone on that one. I park my bike.
This fucking story. I'm just imagining the ending.
It gets better. I park my bike, not looking at the beach. I have very bad eyesight. So I notice there's people. Okay, I kind of want an empty one, but I've biked all the way to the end. I'm not going to go back. Park my bike, put my stuff down, get ready to just start drawing or reading a book, whatever I was doing. And then I look around and I realize everyone's naked. And then I realize there are no women. And then I realize they're all in pairs. So I have stumbled upon a gay nude beach. And my problem here at this point is I now feel like I'm invading their space, but I also don't want to, and they're looking at me.
You also don't want to
I don't want to seem homophobic
Yeah.
because I'm leaving their gay nude beach.
Yeah.
I support their gay nude beach, but I feel like I'm invading their gay nude beach. So naturally, I fake a phone call. Of course.
Not only can she be a voice actor, but she can be an actor.
Apparently. So I fake a phone call to my fake friend and I say, "Hey, I'm here. Where are you?" And obviously my fake friend says nothing. I say, "Oh, no, I went to the one all the way at the end. Which one are you at?" And then I wait a couple more seconds and I say, "Oh, okay, that's like 2 down from me. I'll meet you there." And then I leave. So now I'm no longer invading their space, and I'm not being homophobic.
Fuck, that was really tactful. You did that really well.
I didn't know how to leave without seeming like a bigot.
I mean, you could have just got naked and like sat down next to.
That would have been invading their space. I fear. I fear like it. I fear it was not a spot for me. You know, I was not welcome there, and that's okay. I didn't need to be welcome there.
You didn't want to be welcome there?
I didn't need to be. That's their spot. They can keep it.
I mean, you definitely...
And this was before I knew about the cruising culture in the Netherlands as well.
Hang on. We're going on way too many tangents. I'm finding it hard to keep up because I do want to go back to... You made a statement a second ago in that story that you've got very bad eyesight.
Horrible.
How are you a tattooist?
So close up in daylight or like fluorescent light, perfect vision.
Right.
The second that light goes away, it's cloudy, it's almost nighttime, I lose depth perception and color. So my vision, terrible far away.
So you got nighttime driving glasses?
No, I'm not allowed to drive at night. Yeah. I do have quite like
So you're going blind.
it's not getting worse.
Oh, okay.
It's been about the same since I was 17. So I just don't drive at night.
Took one too many volleyballs to the head.
Maybe. No, it's a health thing that I've had for a while, so I kind of expect it. I'll eventually later probably go blind because my eyes are already weak, but that's fine. You know, I've had a help dog before for unrelated because I have a heart condition. So he was for my heart condition. Little did I know at night though he was very much guiding me because I couldn't see. I didn't know that, especially in Amsterdam, beautiful city, amazing city, but there are holes in the ground randomly because there are doors that are below street level.
Correct.
So I would just be falling into them. And when my help dog retired, I started walking around Amsterdam being like, why am I falling so much? Like, what is happening? Because he wasn't a guide dog. That's not what his job was. And I didn't realize how much of that he was doing until after he retired, and I just started tripping on everything all the time. So, yeah. So I've adjusted well to it for now.
Yeah.
Maybe another help dog in the future.
Yeah. What is it about the Netherlands cruise culture?
There's a big cruising culture in the Netherlands, like gay men cruising in like wooded areas specifically.
What?
In the smaller like villages.
Oh.
Yeah. I had a buddy in law enforcement, and it was constant like, oh, we're going to the gay forest. This man was gay also, but he called it the gay forest. And this is apparently where like people meet up to do, which is so confusing to me because the Netherlands is such an open and accepting culture. Like you don't need to necessarily meet up in a forest.
Yeah.
People aren't going to look at you funny if you're holding hands in public.
I mean,
so it was the first country to legalize gay marriage.
Yeah.
So
maybe they just want to get closer to nature.
Maybe, to each their own.
For some reason, when you said cruising culture, I thought you meant cruise ships.
No. I mean,
because I know that there's a huge swingers thing that happens on
I've
cruise
learned
ships.
about that recently through TikTok.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing. The pineapples also. I did not know.
The upside down pineapples.
Mm-hmm. We have our version of $2 shops in America.
Oh.
The dollar store.
Yeah.
Pineapple stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So I cannot tell you how many times I was probably growing up and I wanted to make a jungle juice for me and my friends. And I was like, oh, I just bought this cooler. Definitely had pineapples all over it.
Yeah.
Some of which were probably upside down.
Yeah.
What kind of messages was I signaling as a 17-year-old?
I mean.
Not that I was making jungle juice at 17, but.
Shit.
18, I mean.
18.
Well, that's still underage.
Yeah, isn't the drinking age 21?
Yeah, the drinking age is 21. I had my first drink at 18, though, so.
Under the supervision of your parents?
No.
Oh.
No. They were actually...
We're trying not to get cancelled on this YouTube channel.
I went up to Canada to have my first drink.
Oh.
Yep. I did it legally. Unfortunately. I'm unfortunately like a really big rule follower.
Compliance.
So, yeah.
Until someone tells you that you can't do something, then you'll go and do it.
Yeah. Unless it breaks the law. Having a very militaristic family, unfortunately, ingrains that into my brain.
Were your parents, in the military?
My dad was in the Navy for 25 years.
Gotcha.
My mom was a police officer and then went federal after that. My brother was in the army doing who knows what in Korea. So
South or north? South.
Yeah, so yeah, of course.
Of course.
And then he went into private security for government officials afterward.
Damn.
Yeah, my family's very, very militaristic, very.
And here you are being a international Playboy model.
I tried to go into the Air Force.
You tried to go into the Air Force?
I tried to go into the Air Force.
She's too blind.
Yeah, I am too blind. I am too blind to fly a plane for the military.
She's too blind and too redhead.
Maybe. Was I ready? Yeah, I was.
Too many freckles for the military. She won't be able to get any planes up.
I'm too pale. They'll spot me from space. No, but yeah, I wanted to go into the Air Force because they pay for your college. And I think the Air Force is very much just kind of like Boy Scouts, but you get paid for it because it's the more cushy of the American militaries. And I have a very high IQ, and my ASVAB score was 2 points off of perfect, so I would have been fine.
That means nothing to me, but anyway.
It's a test they do to get you into the American military. Highest is Air Force. You have to have the highest ASVAB score. Lowest is Marines or Army. One of the two. The two that people joke that they eat crayons.
What's crayons?
Like crayons.
Oh, crayons.
Yeah.
Sorry, the accent.
Sorry.
It's the California.
I guess so. Crayons. Yeah.
Crayons.
That would be the California. Sneaking out.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting my college paid for anyway. I was on a volleyball scholarship, so I just didn't want to pay for college, basically.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's expensive in the States.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be.
I'm the only person I know without student loans. And I'm very, very grateful for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's your family think about you being an international Playboy model?
Well, I have not talked to my father about it. I don't know if he knows.
Shit.
How
long have you been doing this for?
2 years now.
Wow.
Almost. Yeah. So I don't know if he knows at all. But
Hasn't
I
accidentally come across a...
I hope not. Poor guy. That would be devastating, I would think. But before the first one came out, and I unfortunately made this mistake while wearing a Playboy hoodie. I FaceTimed my mom. I said, "Hey, I have some stuff to tell you." She was like, "You already got divorced. You can't be getting divorced again."
I got secretly married and I'm getting divorced again, Mum.
That does sound like something I would do, but...
To a short, bald Italian man.
He's Russian, actually, the bald man. Yeah.
He's a Russian.
He's Russian.
Oh.
Big, beefy.
Which makes me
man.
think that if he had hair, it would be red.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No wonder you have this connection with him.
But yeah, I called her and I said, "Hey, I don't want family or anything to see this online and bring it to you. So I'm going to tell you before it goes up."
Oh.
I've made the decision to shoot with Playboy. It was before the shoot even, I think. The shoot is this day. And she was like, "Well, do you have to do it?" I was like, "I don't have to do anything. It's very up to my discretion. I arrive day of. I don't want to shoot nudity at all. I don't shoot nudity at all." And it's always been that way with them. They're lovely. They will... I can put whatever I want up, and they're fine. As long as there's no one else in it or, like, endangering minors, legal things like that. But if I don't post any sort of nudity for 3 months, they don't care at all.
Yeah.
And so
So how did your mum take it?
She used to model when she was really, really young. So
snap, Mum!
She
Go, Mum!
knows, I think.
Shout out to Mum!
So we don't talk about it a whole lot. She knows when I go on these trips. She knows why I'm going. She shows them off to her friends. "Look where my daughter is. Look at this beach." Does not tell them why I'm there. It's not something I think she's proud of.
My daughter's just some fucking property mogul that's like
traveling
the world.
You know?
Yeah. She's in the tourism industry.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. I don't know what she tells them. I don't know why.
She sells coconuts. And
underwater
pineapples.
basket weaving in tropical locations.
Wow.
But yeah, we just kind of don't talk about it. She visited me in the Netherlands, and there was a girl that I was dealing with that was like not bullying me, but I was having an issue with her, and I was ranting to my mom about it. I was like, "And that's why she's in the middle of nowhere in the Netherlands and nobody likes her, and I am in Playboy France." And getting one of the actual magazines is a bit bigger deal than the website. And my mom...
Oh, yeah, it's a massive deal.
Yeah, it is. And my mom was very much like, "France?" And then she was like, "Stop saying that. So she was proud for 2 seconds, but she likes to
Oh.
pretend she's not proud at all.
Oh, she's so fucking proud.
She did model, so she knows Playboy's a bit of a big deal. You know?
Yeah.
And
Especially around her era.
yeah,
Like, it was massive.
it's on that trajectory again for sure.
You know, like,
Yeah.
Hugh Hefner was doing something completely different to
Mhm.
everybody else. I mean,
Yep.
the magazines were, like, I've got vintage magazines around
Yeah.
here somewhere.
I love a
think
good
they're-
vintage Playboy.
Yeah, they're upstairs. But they were like on sale for like 99 cents or like
Mhm.
$2.
Yep.
And, you know,
And it's like, it's an honor for us to grace these pages. Playboy's very big on not just celebrating the woman in her body, but also her accomplishments and her substance.
yeah.
And you do a Playboy data sheet for every photo shoot that you do, or every playmate, every bunny has a data sheet and has interesting things about them, maybe what they went to school for, what their dream date is, their dream partner, things like that. And you know,
What is your Playboy?
I can read my data sheet actually. mean-
Of course, she's just got it right here.
Well, I have the app on my phone.
Yeah.
They give us a nice little app
Yeah.
because people can like talk to us and things like that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's easy to just have on my phone. My service is not great. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's because the reception here is shit.
Yeah, I also still don't have service. I just have data.
That's all right.
Okay. My 4 prompts were if I had a warning label, I feel sexiest when. Oh no, I only have 2. I thought I had 4. My warning label, I put that it would say that I'm chaotic and hungry, always hungry. And then I feel sexiest when the weather is nice. I'm a sucker for some sun, and summer feels like home to me. So you can also choose ones because they let you choose which questions you answer.
No wonder you came to Australia.
Yeah, that was the main point. Actually, was the sun.
The sun.
And then I moved to the one city that actually has seasons.
You know, I grew up.
4 seasons in 2 hours is a little bit ridiculous.
I think last
the hell?
year we had like 8 seasons in like 4 hours.
Oh my
It
goodness.
like fucking snowed in the city and like rained and trees were falling over and then the sun came out.
Yeah.
And then it happened all over again.
It's like having a bipolar person in your life,
Yeah.
or like somebody with BPD,
it definitely makes things
or
interesting.
like a Sour Patch Gummy.
yeah.
First they're sour, then they're sweet. Look, here's some sun.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in Southeast Asia
Mm-hmm.
and then I lived in Perth before I came here. And
Bit sunnier.
yeah. But the heat in Perth is very dry.
I love a dry heat though. I'm from Arizona.
Yeah. You
I-
might like it there.
I'm,
Although it's the most isolated city in the world
it's pretty isolated.
and it's the second windiest.
I hate wind.
Yeah.
So Melbourne is also, I've been absolutely loving it so far. I live kind of far out, but can take one train into the city center.
Yeah.
So it's, I can drive in this country, just not at night. And so
Unless she has a dog with her.
well, I don't know if the dog can tell me how far the car is in front of me.
Left, right. Yeah, no, don't do that.
Also, if somebody's not wearing like reflective gear at night, I can't see them. I can't tell you how many times I've been on a walk and I'll be on my phone or something, and I cannot see that there's someone walking towards me. So once they get close enough, like here, that I can actually see them, I like physically jump because all of a sudden there's just a person. So it's my
You need to like be on your phone and have the flashlight on.
yeah. I've thought about just getting a really high powered flashlight.
Oh yeah.
But that would be so annoying to literally everyone else.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. But I love Melbourne so far. It's absolutely wonderful.
I wanted to live somewhere that had 4 seasons,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and had that change of like, yeah.
15 is not winter. Compared to where I've just been, where it's -4
Yeah.
on a warm day.
Look.
I was tanning yesterday. It was 14.
Yeah. I did see that Insta story.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but no one told me about the hay fever.
No one has told me about this yet either.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
This is the hay fever capital of Australia.
Is it?
As well.
Oh, that's going to be miserable.
Yeah. So around September
Yeah.
to like
It has its redeeming properties, though.
November, and then sometimes it creeps into January.
Lovely.
Yeah. It depends on how much rain we've had during winter,
Yeah.
on how dry things are.
It's been pretty rainy since I've gotten here.
It's going to get more wet.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
If it means I'll not have so many allergies, then that's great.
No, the allergies will come after, because when there's rain.
I thought hay fever and allergies were the same thing. In the Netherlands, they are.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. But when it rains, that makes the plants grow. And then the allergies.
So more rain is more allergies.
Yeah.
Okay, then I don't want rain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last year was pretty dry,
Yeah.
so the allergies kind of like it wasn't as bad. But I remember like a couple of years ago we ended up having these like crazy ass like dust storms
Haboobs.
that came from like South Australia, and
I am familiar with dust storms. Arizona gets them constantly.
asthma.
Yeah.
If you suffer from asthma, they will
Dust
like
storms
you
are
gotta
killer.
you got to stay indoors.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they coat everything.
Yeah.
My parents, growing up, we had our house was next to a highway, and the highways in Arizona have kind of a hill on either side, just in
Yeah.
case there's an accident or something. It doesn't go to the houses
Yeah.
next to it. But most of the dust storms came from that direction.
Yeah.
So my parents had this gorgeous pool, lovely backyard. The dust storm would hit the berm and then go over the house. So no dust in the backyard, and then it would hit the neighbors. So we got really lucky with that. But my friends, I remember constantly, like their chore that they had to do was go clean the dust out of the backyard from the last storm, from the last haboob. That's what they're called.
A haboob.
Haboob.
That doesn't sound like a very American name.
I think it's probably Arabic
Yeah.
because they have them as well. But Arizona gets them very, very badly. You have to pull over if you're driving. The visibility goes down to 0. So you can't put your headlights on. Sorry, English.
English, Vanny.
Oh, I combined the English and Dutch word as well, which
Yeah.
isn't even a word at all. But yeah, you can't put them on because it makes it even more blinding.
Yeah. So why Australia?
I wanted somewhere English speaking. That was a big one for me. I do speak Dutch, so South Africa was also on the list because Afrikaans is very similar to Dutch, and I feel like I could pick it up quite easily. But the political climate in South Australia made me less interested.
South Africa, you mean?
South Africa, sorry. South
I mean,
Africa
the political climate in South Australia as well. You know, you've come
I mean, it's better than the States. That's why the States are never an option for me again.
Right.
They won't be.
Right.
I wanted it to be somewhere that has seasons, ? But was mostly warm and sunny. Sunny was my main thing. Even if it's cold, as long as the sun's out, I'm pretty happy. The Nordic, Central European weather for me was just not. It was raining every day. It was cloudy every day, and my vision's terrible in dim lighting. So I was very much starting to feel like I was blind all the time, which is, there are people who are blind all the time and do have to deal with that, but mentally, for someone,
it becomes a bit of a strain.
Yeah.
And a challenge for like motivation, right?
Yeah. So especially when you're out here telling people, oh yeah, I'm like night blind, and then you're tripping over things in the day. Like it's
falling down secret holes.
Yeah, it's very stressful, and just having to get up and get myself out of bed when the sun's not even out.
Yeah.
I prefer to wake up with the sun.
Yeah.
I'll keep my window cracked so the sun hits my face in the morning, and then I'm up. I have no problems. But if the sun is not out, I'm not out of bed. If we have a cloudy day here, even, because we've had a couple since I've been here, the other day I slept for like 18 hours. And it wasn't jet lag. It was just the fact that the sun was gone.
shit.
So I really needed a
That
place with
means-
sun.
That means don't try to contact you when it's fucking winter.
Well, I'll text back eventually. I can't tell you when.
When the sun comes out.
Yeah, basically.
Bro.
I don't know, I'm like a little houseplant. It's ridiculous.
What about, do you drink coffee?
I don't.
Oh,
But I've heard the coffee here is better.
yeah.
For some reason.
I think it's because of the weather.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It has more, Melbourne has a much larger coffee culture
Mm-hmm.
than any other part of Australia.
Yeah. I've been exploring it a bit, and you guys have like hipsters, which I really enjoy. Anything hipsters enjoy, I would probably also enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
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 So I love it.
Hipsters
And
everywhere.
you guys have Tim Tams, so
You can't do a Tim Tam slam without coffee.
oh, I don't like coffee
I mean, you just do it with milk.
or Red Bull. I love a good Red Bull. I have this really weird reaction though to Tim Tams where I'll eat one and I have this, maybe it's an allergic reaction or something, but then I black out and when I wake up the entire sleeve is gone. So I don't know if I should keep eating them.
I don't know if
A
that's a
peculiar
problem.
reaction.
I don't think that's a problem.
No, I love them though. It's a problem.
Other than Tim Tams, what's your go-to favorite food?
Crab legs.
Crab legs.
Weird favorite food, but crab legs are my favorite food.
That is very
Hands down.
specific.
I have a video of me when I was like 2, cracking them open.
Right.
Still to this day.
Can you
I love
cook
going
crab's eggs?
I can, but I prefer to go to like a seafood boil place that like they dump it out on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like those.
There's a place in Footscray actually.
There's also one there's one in Melbourne somewhere. It's
Crabby.
literally the same chain that I'm used to in America.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. I think it's in
But
Footscray.
no one in my household eats seafood.
What?
So I don't have anyone to drag with me. One of them is vegan. The other just doesn't like seafood. No one to drag with me.
We should go do some seafood.
We should. Yeah. The
Singapore chili crab was what made me get born.
Thank you, crab legs.
Because my my parents, so my dad was on a working holiday in Singapore, and he was like, my wife's heavily pregnant, she has to come with me. So his company paid for her to live in the hospital for like 2 months. And this one night they were like, oh, she told her doctor, we've been invited to go out for dinner with a friend, we really want to go. They went and had seafood. The friend was
And it was spicy.
The friend was pregnant as well.
Oh God. Aren't you also not supposed to have shellfish pregnant?
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like that's on the list.
that knowledge probably wasn't around
Not that I've been looking into.
back then.
Maybe.
But yeah, and then 3:00 in the morning
Wow.
that night.
Could have been the spicy though.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it's the spice.
Wow.
Definitely the spice.
In 10 years, then I know what to do if I'm pregnant and would like it to end faster.
Yeah, yeah.
Would like the baby to come sooner.
Yeah.
Spicy.
So, okay, so you've just moved here.
Yeah. Lovely. Melbourne's lovely.
What else have you got planned for the rest of the year? I mean, obviously, kind of getting entrenched into the photography scene here in
Yeah.
Australia, but like, what else are you looking at doing?
That's a major goal of mine is to just like networking and things like that and working with people, especially because I get really comfy and I like to shoot with like the same 5 photographers over and over again. And now they're all eons away from me.
Yep.
I think in October, I'm taking a trip with one of the photographers from the Netherlands. So to Bali specifically.
Nice.
So, yeah, super nice. But I really do need to break out of my comfort zone and like actually shoot with more people. Because I know I have my favorite and I'll go on a trip with him and have content for 6 months. So, but I need to stop doing that.
I mean, if you know what the quality is going to
Yeah.
be like.
He knows what I like. I know what he likes.
Yeah.
Like, it's just,
But the reality is that you're in a new country now.
yeah,
So
it is. And I also,
it's about picking and choosing.
yeah.
you
And
know.
the publications here. So, like, Playboy Netherlands never would have happened for me,
Really?
ever. I'm not quite their type. They lean in a little bit more of a high fashion direction.
Right.
Which it's a very artsy Playboy. I think it's very cool. They have a female creative director. It's awesome. Playboy Australia is a bit different. So, looking at the publications out here, what might actually be possible for me versus what's probably definitely not. Australian Maxim, never gonna happen for me. The girls in Australian Maxim are, first of all, absolutely shredded. There's a body
Shit.
standard there, which good for them, because I could never. I wish I could, but I cannot. So, like, really looking at the publications, what's possible for me, what's not. I've been reached out to by a couple, but unfortunately working with Playboy kind of, like, fucks you over a little bit in the fact that you're like, okay, this magazine wants to work. I've never heard of them. I've done this already. Like, my management is very much like, are you sure you want to do that? And I'm like, oh, but it's a magazine. And they're like, okay, well, is this in line with your goals? Which sucks.
Why did you tell them your goals? Using your information against
I
you.
know. They know my goals. They do.
But I think it's good because they're keeping you in check.
They are, yeah.
They're
But
like
I also,
helping you achieve them.
when you first start modeling, though, you very much just like take every opportunity that comes your way. And in my
Yeah.
mind, I'm not in a position to say no to things yet, but my management feels that I am. So it's,
Why do you feel like you're not in a position to say no?
I don't know.
I think that's interesting.
I don't know. I've never been the, like, big ego, like, I see it as a creative outlet. So I see every chance to work as a creative opportunity, not
Yeah.
necessarily like, what is this looking like PR wise?
Yeah.
So, and I think my management is very helpful in that way because I don't look at things that way.
I think it's often it's a creative's, like, when you're a creative person, it's a challenge that you have to constantly try to overcome because there's this
little imposter syndrome.
Yeah, but there's this like balancing act with the scales around fueling the creative side of yourself and realizing that it's a business.
Yeah, as well.
And so, you know.
And it's crazy how much goes into it. Like, I had a stalker situation as well right before I left the Netherlands.
Of course you have.
Unfortunately. And he lived less than 2 hours away. So that got really dicey. He basically sent me my own address on a live stream. And so,
Oh, fuck.
yeah, thank God for my management, because I think I would have, like, lost my mind. They were wonderful. Everybody handling it was absolutely amazing. But they got very, like, okay, why did you post this video with the view out your window? And in my mind, I'm like, oh, it's just a TikTok. And they were like, yes, but you can see out your window, and that's how he found out where you live. Which I'm not thinking of those things.
Oh.
So they also, in a way, maybe saved my life a little bit, because I'm a very naive person and I don't think about that. But they wouldn't let me post about moving to Australia until I was here, because they didn't want to, like, accelerate the stalker.
Yeah.
So they really handle that end of things. Like the things I can and can't post about, should and shouldn't post about. They don't have me post as much about my work anymore, like my actual, like, full-time career, where I'm working, anything like that. They say that they want to keep relationships pretty down low, things like that. Unless it's, of course, the way they put it, beneficial to PR.
For getting into the marriage pageants.
Yeah. Then in that case, like, something would be beneficial, but
So did I have to ask the question? Did you have to swing it past the management group that you were coming on the podcast?
I did, yeah. No. They asked
I
me
got the
to-
approval.
You did. They asked me to screen questions, but I did not. Yeah. No, because there are talking points that I'm supposed to hit on this podcast.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, did we hit all of them?
Jokingly, Tim Tams was one of my talking points.
Nice.
A lot of them were just about like Australia and the scene. I think they just want me to say things that will accidentally network me.
Yeah.
Yeah, which that's okay.
I think it's just gonna happen.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like, you know.
Yeah. I don't do everything they tell me.
They're just a management team that
Yeah.
guide you through things. Ultimately, you're the one that's controlling.
Yeah, I pay
what's
them at the end of the day.
Yeah. Hey,
They work for me.
Yeah.
It's not the other way around.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, Vanny, thank you so much for coming on the
Of
podcast.
course.
Let me just take a quick selfie so we can post that. Amazing. Well, now we've got to get ready for a shoot.
We do. Get some music going.
Yeah. And thanks everyone for listening in. Make sure you hit subscribe, the notification bell, and I'll catch you guys all on the next one. See ya.